overseas. The U.S. has started launching airstrikes against ISIS in Libya. The Pentagon says Libya's government asked the U.S. for help in the fight against the terror group. Here to talk about the latest developments is CBS News senior national security analyst and former Homeland Security advisor to George W. Bush, Fran Townsend. Fran, good to see you.
Good to be here.
So why is the U.S. targeting Libya and why now?
Well, we've known for some time, right, that information leaked that French special forces were there. We knew that we and our allies were trying to assist the Libyan government to fight back. The Libyan military forces have been trying very hard to overcome ISIS, and they haven't been able to do it alone. And I think now's the time where they've asked for assistance. The U.S. has decided to come in and really see if they can't push it over the edge.
What do we know about the region in Sirte there, and what makes it so significant as a target?
Well, look, this is a very fragile government. They haven't been able to form an effective coalition, and so I think this is where Sirte is really where the whole opposition movement started from, and so there's a symbolism to it, and I think now is the time where it's a close enough battle, and it's important enough, this sort of expansion of ISIS's territory outside the theater of Iraq and Syria, that it's really important for the coalition to make a stand and to support this nascent Libyan government.
Let me ask you this, Fran, because it's come up during the Republican conventions and the Democratic conventions. Was it the right move for the United States government to help depose Muammar Gaddafi? When you look at what's happened in Libya since he's left that country, I mean, a lot of people say that sometimes these strong-armed dictators are needed to keep groups like ISIS out of the country.
Right.
Was it the right call?
I think it's easy to say when you don't handle the initial post-toppling very well to say, well, you shouldn't have gone in at all. When really I think the lesson ought to be, whether we're talking about Iraq during the Bush administration or Libya during the Obama administration, you need to plan better for all the phases of the operation, including what we call phase 4. That's when you have to get a new government in place and you have to support them. We have tended over, if you look back across history, to take our eye off the ball when the sort of first phase of the military conflict is passed and the civilian building up of a new civil society comes in. That's where we move on to the next thing, and that's a real problem. And I think we've seen it both in Iraq and in Libya.
And yet we still are unable to learn those lessons. I mean, we've seen that time and time again, and I think a lot of people say, look, these things keep happening. Why? Why are we not able to sort of learn the lessons? Although every country is different, the dynamics are different. But
no, absolutely. Richard Armitage, when he was Deputy Secretary of State, said it's pottery barn rules apply, right? You break it, you own it.
Own it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And sort of we need to embrace that. Our military is very good at those initial phases of the operation, right? The engagement piece. But we can't really leave it to the U.S. military to then come in behind and build the civil society, and that's what we need to do better at.